Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Connor Rhodes from Slim Society. It is lovely to see you again. Today we are going to be looking at and discussing this article in Science Focus, the home of the BBC Science Focus magazine. It's about this gentleman who you probably know and have seen before. It's the Michael Mosley. It's the Mosenator himself. Today we are going to be discussing Dr. Michael Mosley's 7 best science-backed tips to improve your health. Let's see what he's saying now, and let's see what's going on, shall we? Looking to improve your sleep, diet, or overall happiness? The TV doctor serves up advice on each. The internet is full of health hacks, that's true. Some are great and some are nonsense, that's also true. And some are even actively harmful, that's also true. And it can be hard to tell which is which, that's also true, especially when it comes to what we should be eating. Here to help you sort the fact from the fiction is Dr. Michael Mosley with the 7 best science-backed tips for improving your health drawn from his column in the BBC Science Focus magazine. Number 1. And I've not seen this article before. Somebody sent me this article, and sometimes people send me articles because they think I'll like it. Sometimes they'll send me articles because they think I won't. This is a good tip to start off with, though, so thank you to Michael Mosley. Eat more protein to lose weight. We don't mind this at all. Out of our 6 steps to slim, this is the 5th step. Eating more protein to lose weight is actually your 2nd most effective nutritional tool and your 4th most effective weight loss tool overall. The first one is calorie management. Secondly, if you're only using nutrition for weight loss, then protein intake is the 2nd best tool you can use. If you're using nutrition and exercise, then walking is your 2nd best tool, exercise is your 3rd best tool, and then that ranks down protein to your 4th best tool. As you've probably noticed, in the world of diets, there is an ongoing battle between low-fat foods and those who prefer to embrace a low-carb lifestyle. There's not really a battle going on. Both of these methods are fine. You have to reduce some food somewhere to lose weight. You can reduce it from wherever you want. It's not a battle between low-fat and low-carb. Some of my members do low fat, some of them do low carb, some of them do take out a little bit of both. I encourage people to do whatever feels best for them and also not to necessarily stick to one rigid plan. Like, you don't have to be, I am low carb, I am low fat. Some days you can just eat less fat and some days you can just eat less carbs. Some days eat more carbs, some days eat more fat. It's fine. Yeah, as I discovered when here we go with an advertisement. Classic. Yet, as I discovered when I began researching my latest book, The Fast 800 Keto, not a great diet. I'm not going to lie. Bit too restrictive. Not great. Can you lose weight really fast? Yes, because it's just super restrictive and cuts out tons of foods and tons of calories at the same time. Overall, not the best. The biggest driver of appetite is that other macronutrient, protein. That says the biggest driver of appetite. That sounds like protein. I don't know. What do you think to that? That sounds to me like it's saying that protein drives your appetite, which if you're going to drive something, that sounds like it's increasing it to me. Protein actually reduces appetite more than any of the macronutrient, which I assume that's what it means, but that's not really what it says. Eggs, fish, meat, and tofu are all rich in protein and help build muscles, enzymes, and the infrastructure of our bodies. Eating enough of it is absolutely vital for growth and repair. As 2 leading Australian academics, Dr. David Robenheimer and Professor Steve Simpson, argue lack of protein is one of the major drivers of the current obesity epidemic. Well, I mean, you could argue that if you wanted to. Lack of protein is one of the major drivers of the current obesity epidemic. I don't know if that's true, to be honest. Lack of exercise and too many calories overall, junk food overall, highly processed, highly palatable, low satiation, fast digesting foods. These are much higher drivers of the obesity epidemic, but if you increase protein intake, that does help weight loss, mostly because it reduces hunger and increases feelings of well-being, and it also steadies out your energy levels. It's one of the tools that I personally use myself to keep my weight down and keep myself slim. My protein intake is massive and I absolutely love it. My energy levels are crazy and also very stable. I feel great, I feel strong, I feel fit, I feel healthy, and I put down a large portion of that to protein intake. If you don't get enough protein in your diet, then you will develop cravings and overeat in a largely unconscious attempt to hit critical protein targets. I don't necessarily agree with this. Cravings have not been shown in science to be linked to what nutrition you don't get. Like, have you ever seen those things online where it's like, if you are craving chocolate, then you need to get more magnesium, so eat nuts instead. This is not really how cravings work. Your brain just desires things that feel good and that you enjoy, and that's what cravings are. You just want to feel good, you like foods that taste nice, this is normal, that's what a craving is. You can have a craving for not food related things as well, can't you? You can crave people you love, or to watch your favorite sports team, or anything like this. Cravings are not necessarily related to nutrition. Or the nutrition that you're lacking, let's say. Eating more protein won't necessarily reduce your cravings. It will reduce hunger, which then could that reduce food cravings overall? I guess it could, but it's not like oh, if you eat more tofu, then you won't like chocolate as much. How about we be sensible instead? They say that we need to consume around 15 to... Who's they? They say we need to consume around 15 to 20% of our daily calories in the form of protein. No one really says this. I'm not going to lie. No one really says this. Using percentages of daily calories for protein intake is not really a smart thing to do, because while this may be true, this amounts to around 100 grams of protein, which is a nice amount. I'll give them that. If you are eating the normal 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day, okay, fine. But what if you're not eating 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day? What if you're eating 1,500 calories per day because you're trying to lose weight? Does that mean you should eat less protein or your protein requirement goes down? Not at all. So it's not a smart way to, that's not a smart way to look at your protein intake. You should just keep your protein intake at a decent amount despite your calorie intake. That's a much better way to go about it. But anyway, the tip itself of eat more protein to lose weight is fantastic. It's the 5th step to slim, not if you join my 6 steps to slim program, which is currently on half price offer. £20 per month. You don't have to do the steps in order. It's a tool that I use. It's a tool that many of my members use. It's good. Balance on one foot. Here we go. I imagine this is to do with injury prevention due to falls, which is one of the leading causes of indirect death. But let's find out. A common New Year's resolution is to get fitter. Although people determinedly heave weights or run, they often forget the importance of working on their balance. Okay, even though lifting weights and running also works on your balance. Worldwide, falls are the most common cause of accidental death after road traffic accidents. That's just what I said. That's true. And unless you do something about it, your balance will deteriorate as you get older. That also might be true, because you might get sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle and strength loss, and then your balance can struggle a little bit, and then people fall over, and then they break a rib or break a hip or break an arm, and then you go into hospital, and then you, I don't know, catch a disease like Madame Covid that comes to visit you. And then that might be it. That does happen to a lot of people. And having good balance is a powerful predictor of how long and healthy you will live. That is true. A good test of your balance is to see how long you can stand on one leg, first with your eyes open and then closed. Okay. Take your shoes off and put one hand on your hips and stand on one leg. See how long you last. I have never done this. Maybe do this and comment below. Let me know what you can do. Let's say you're in the 50 to 59 age range bracket. 41 seconds with your eyes open and 8 seconds closed. I'm going to try this after I finish this video. I'm not going to try it right now because I'm plugged into this wire with the microphone. It might be quite boring if it turns out I'm great at it. I actually have no idea. But I can see why they're saying that, and strength training and walking and mobility and movement overall, this is an excellent way to live longer and healthier and increase quality and quantity of life and reduce injury risk and overall chances of death, all-cause mortality, etc. Practice deep breathing. This is nice. This might be something to do with stress reduction. It might be something to do with anxiety reduction. It might be something to do with your nervous system. Let's see. One of the things that has made a big difference to my life, which is very simple to do, is practice deep breathing. When I feel stressed, here we go, or when I'm awake in the middle of the night and struggling to get back to sleep, which is common, I do a breathing exercise called 4-2-1. I breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 2, and then breathe out to a count of 4. I also do something very similar, and I would encourage you to do this. If I'm struggling to sleep or struggling to fall back to sleep, I will do a breath in, and then do a long, slow breath out. And my only focus is to try and make each breath slightly slower than the one before. So this is giving you some kind of counting technique and exercise to do, which is very nice. That'll work too, I'm sure. Personally, I just try and, especially if I'm overthinking things or if I've got a little bit of anxiety, I just try and slow down my breathing. If you slow down your breathing, this switches you over from the fight or flight adrenaline-based nervous system over to your rest and digest nervous system. And then this does literally work. It's been shown that 5 deep belly breaths, diaphragmatic breaths from your stomach, can switch you from one nervous system and one stressed state over to your other nervous system and a calm state. Literally just 5 deep breaths can help. It's a physical thing, because I imagine if your body is feeling stressed but you've got time to slow down and breathe, it kind of just is, in an anthropomorphic kind of way, it's kind of insinuating to your body that there might not really be anything wrong because you've got time to stop and breathe. So how much danger can you really be in at this moment in time? Deep breathing switches, here we go, on your parasympathetic nervous system, which acts like a brake, calming down your body. This is true. Long deep breaths will slow your heart, and hey, here we go. And also reduce your blood pressure. That way it reduces anxiety. That's true. It also gives you something to focus on that's not just your spiraling mind, which is literally the way that meditation works. You're going to think something, so why not think something positive or at worst neutral, like about your breath, something that you're always doing and always taking with you. So this just gives you something to focus on, which is not your worried mind, let's say. Number 4, take cold showers, something that I have tried before and personally do not enjoy, but I understand the benefits of. One of the most popular episodes from the first series of Just One Thing Not sure what that is. Are you? Leave on a comment. Explored the risk, maybe it's a Mosley thing. Explored the risks and benefits, maybe it isn't. Risks and benefits of cold water immersion. Ooh. Sounds intense, doesn't it? For this episode, oh, it must be, I started having cold showers every morning, starting with a brief burst of hot water, followed by 40 seconds or so of an icy cold blast. It certainly perks you up. That'll definitely get your adrenaline going. Well, there was a Dutch study published in 2016 where they recruited 3,018 people online and then randomly allocated them having a cold shower every morning for a month, and the control group continued as normal. Over the winter there was an outbreak of flu, and it turned out that those people having cold showers were 30% less likely to take off time for sickness, so maybe it boosts your immune system. Another thing it does, having a cold shower, is it's training your body and mind to do things that you don't want to do, because it's not going to be nice. It's going to be not painful, but a little bit uncomfortable, and you're going to have to, okay, 3, 2, 1, and you don't want to do it, but you're going to do it anyway. Do you know what that does? That toughens you up a little bit in life to doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, which can be productive, can't it? If you go around in life just doing all the things that you want to do, then this is not always positive or productive. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, like eat healthy sometimes, exercise, pay your bills, go to school. You know, these things that are more stoic in nature, where it's delaying pleasure now to receive something greater in the future. So it's a waking up technique. It gets your adrenaline going. Apparently it boosts your immune system, according to this one study. And it toughens you up and trains you up a little bit for doing hard things. When doing hard things becomes easy, everything's easy. I consider exercise, I don't really do cold showers, I don't really like it, but I've tried it before. But I do that with exercise. I don't like exercise. But Connor, you're a personal trainer. I know it's one of the things that in my opinion makes me a good one, because I don't understand that you don't really want to do the exercise, and neither do I. We're just doing it to, you get what you want, to get something out of it, don't you? You want to feel better, or you don't want your knees to hurt, or you want to lose weight faster, or you want to feel fitter, or, you know. Focus on that instead. Do the hard thing. Do the damn thing. Do the thing that you don't want to do just because you know it's good for you. Then you'll become tougher, better, fitter, stronger, faster. Number 5, eat a Mediterranean-style diet. True, but mildly controversial, but I know that Mosley loves a Mediterranean diet. Some of the components of the Med diet, such as oily fish and olive oil, good, have a well-established anti-inflammatory effect, true, and there is mounting evidence that many cases of depression and anxiety may be linked to brain inflammation, true, but the foods that make up the Mediterranean diet also boost good bacteria in your gut, true, and they in turn produce the anti-inflammatory compounds, true. Foods of which have a positive effect on our mood are called psychobiotics. Psycho meaning mind, let's see. Oh, I meant as a suffix. It's come up psycho, as in short for a psychopath. Okay, well that didn't work, thanks Google, but I meant as a prefix, sorry. Well, anyway, as part of the podcast I made for the BBC, oh, it's a podcast, okay, just one thing. I interviewed Dr. Kirsten Birding-Harrold, a researcher from University College Cork, who is part of a team who first coined the word psychobiotics. Interesting. In one of her most recent studies, she asked a group of volunteers to eat what she calls microbiota-friendly food. These include whole grain, fruits, vegetables, yes, that's true, different types of fiber, and also fermented foods, which, yes, they are excellent for your digestion. Their mood and microbiota were tested at the beginning and the end of the study, and there were some impressive changes. Not only did the microbiome change, but as Kirsten explained, after 4 weeks of the diet, they also felt less stressed and an improved mood. Is that due to the microbiome? It very well might be, because 70% of all your endorphins, all your happiness hormones, are stored inside your gut. So have you ever wondered why it's eat shit, feel shit? Because I don't. It makes perfect sense. It also could be that when people diet and they take control and they start to eat healthier, they're doing something positive for themselves, and then this compounds as well, doesn't it? So it could be a physical and a psychological thing. The problem with Mediterranean style diet is that there isn't a Mediterranean style diet. If you look at all the countries that are in the Mediterranean, none of them eat the same things, and all the people that live in, for example, Italy, they also don't have the same diet. But one of the things that is common through the Mediterranean diet is, yes, it's oily fish, and yes, there's olive oil and stuff like that, and it's lots of fruits and vegetables, and it's reduced amounts of processed carbohydrates. They also have increased sun exposure, so better vitamin D levels. There's also sometimes lower rates of pollution and more natural outside lifestyles and strong communities and stuff like that going on in these Mediterranean countries, and this all adds up to positivity. Eat plenty of beetroot and garlic to keep your blood pressure down. I hope also weight loss and exercise comes up in this, because yes, beetroot and garlic have both been shown to have positive effects in those ways, but it's not exactly your top tool. An ideal systolic blood pressure between 90 and 120, is between. So what can you do if your blood pressure is slightly too high? Well, losing a bit of weight and exercising, thank you, and stopping smoking, yes, will also help. But so can consuming certain foods, that's true. Or at least that is what we discovered on Trust Me, I'm a Doctor when we did a small experiment with Dr. Andrew Webb at King's College London a few years ago. We wanted to test the claim that beetroot, garlic and watermelon could lower blood pressure, and all these three foods work by boosting levels of nitric oxide in the body. That's true, which in turn causes blood vessels to open up and blood pressure to fall. That's true. Some bodybuilders use nitric oxide to get more blood into the muscle so that they can build muscle faster, get a bigger pump on inside the muscles, and it kind of works. So what happened? Well, the average systolic blood pressure of the volunteers at the start was 133. On the beetroot diet, it went around to 128. That's nice, actually, isn't it? This doesn't say whether on the beetroot diet these people actually lost weight, though, because you would have to have a control group, wouldn't you? Because you would have to control calories and make sure people were weight stable and make sure they didn't exercise any more or less than usual, etc. Because obviously, like it said above, there's more factors going into this than this, but that makes sense and that's cool. And there's nothing wrong with eating more beetroot and garlic, really. Well, except if it upsets your stomach, which for some people it does, so just go steady there if you've got specific IBS aggravated in those areas. Caffeine isn't all bad, it also has major health benefits. This is true. Who thinks caffeine's bad, though? Do people think this? I mean, if you have too much, you can die. Probably at least one person a year, it pops up in the news, doesn't it, dies from a caffeine overdose. It's somebody who's buying caffeine powder and then they actually overdose way too much on it because it's a central nervous system stimulant and increases heart rate. But apart from the flavour, what I love about tea and coffee is that they're stimulants. Well, that's what we all love about them, isn't it? Rich with the world's most widely consumed psychoactive drug, caffeine. True, a white crystalline powder. Like I said, a little bit dangerous if you're buying it in powder. Better if you want to take caffeine not in the form of coffee and tea, to buy caffeine pills from a reputable company. Something like 50 milligrams would be good because that's about the same as one coffee. You know, some are way too strong, and if you get the powder, you can incorrectly dose it, and this can be dangerous. Not many people die from it, but some people do, so just go steady. Also, nice antioxidants and stuff in tea and coffee, etc., isn't it? Not only do tea and coffee perk me up in the morning, but there is strong evidence that caffeine consumers enjoy a range of health benefits, with the benefits of being clearer for coffee than tea, probably just because it's got more caffeine. A massive review of studies, coffee consumption and health, umbrella and meta-analysis of multiple health outcomes, published in the British Medical Journal, looked at 220 studies, found that drinking coffee was associated with significant lower risk of heart disease and cancer, possibly because it's rich in antioxidants and other anti-inflammatory compounds. That's also true. Coffee drinking was also associated with lower rate of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. That's also true. Caffeine seems to have some brain stimulating effects, which seems to be productive as long as you have, and positive as long as you have sort of reasonable consumption, which, to be fair, reasonable consumption is, it's not recommended that you go over 1,000 milligrams per day, which is an average of 20 coffees, which is way too many, isn't it? So don't eat 20 coffees. Well, definitely don't do that. But don't drink 20 coffees, ladies and gentlemen. Probably if you're sticking to like 500 milligrams a day or less, like 10 coffees or less, it's hard to get to 500 milligrams per day unless you're drinking those massive, like, Rain or Monster energy drinks, or unless you're using pre-workouts, like if you're a gym goer, which to be honest I wouldn't recommend because that's just way too much caffeine. Anyway, what did you think to those tips? Please let me know. Do you like Michael Mosley? Also, please let me know. I do like Michael Mosley, not that I know him personally, but I think he's cute. He seems like a cute man. Do I agree with his dietary advice? Not usually and always do I agree with some of his diets. No. Is he a bit of a salesman? Yes, he is. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. Does he do positive for the world? Yes, he does. But he's a good looking man and he seems nice, and I believe, not that I know him again personally, that he means well. So let me know what you think to the Moser. Let me know what you think to those tips. Let me know if you do cold showers. Please eat more protein. That's a good idea. And if you want to follow a Mediterranean style, less processed diet and go for a walk or two, get more vitamin D and act all Italian about it, then do so, ladies and gentlemen. Do so. Thank you so much. Stay positive, stay productive, stay healthy, stay happy. Connor Rhodes from slumsociety.co.uk. Message me through the Facebook page, the Instagram or the YouTube. If you're looking for help or support, I'm a professional nutritionist here to help you every single day. I can help you with your weight loss, your health and happiness. Thanks so much. I'll speak to you and I'll see you again soon.